seems your head is full of schemes to turn the world around, but all your fancy dreams are from the lost and found, are from the lost and found.
Welcome to the Television Affair. I'm Johnny and I like sweet and sour takeaway, and when I'm not hungry, I'm looking through some old TV channels because... Anyway, today I'm looking at some defunct channels, some television rejects if you please, and first today, well, it's a complicated one. This is the Advert Channel and it launched in 2004.
Watching the Advert Channel, the channel where we just love to talk about adverts.
This came about around the same time as some other novelty channels such as the Wrestling Channel and Sumo TV. Now the Advert Channel plays some adverts, and it also had programs about advertising such as discussion shows and also behind the scenes information about adverts. I found this image and strangely enough it's the Yes Car credit lady again, yep, Lucy Piper, and just so you know, she actually looks like she's living her best life right now. She was also a presenter on BidUp.tv, the Baby Channel, and has done a heck of a lot of infomercial work in the US, along with adverts in the UK, voiceovers and corporate events. She also would definitely be on the Paint Dry network. Anyway, this bit had a point. The Advert Channel launched early on July the 12th in 2004. They had interaction with premium rate numbers from viewers to talk about adverts, as well as premium rate competitions on TV and online. There was a bit of a snag according to some forums that I found. By November, things looked like they were kind of drying up a bit. Some viewers said that they never really saw any old adverts. I did though. I remember watching a Penguin advert and also getting really cross that actually they kept playing the same ones over and over. And apparently because they were playing classic adverts, they actually hadn't considered the royalties for those adverts, permissions or copyright or any situations around airing the actual adverts. They just did it. As you can imagine, funds were also an issue. Anyway, in January 2005, it changed its name to Your TV, which makes it really hard to find clips about again. What even makes it harder is there was another Your TV, and yeah, just impossible. So, that would still air retro ads and just talk about ads, just less. Now, Ofcom was a bit pissed off with them because when they launched, Ofcom made it clear that they needed to distinguish what was advertising and what was actual TV show because they were full of adverts. They also had this strand in the evenings called Your Destiny TV, and that was a psychic phone-in show that you could ring up and ask about your star signs, and then some guy and some lady would tell you all about it. And they also had merch on those, as well as selling other premium rate services. Again, it was blurred lines as to what was actually shopping or what was entertainment, because I think back then you didn't have to say during psychic things that it was for entertainment purposes only, when nowadays you do have to say that. The channel started promoting other premium rate services during the programme for other psychic hotlines and also services that you needed to be over 18 for, confusing the line again of whether it's part of the show or whether it's advertising. They then got a couple of warnings from Ofcom, mainly around the promotion of adult services and also the other services on the channel. The station changed tack in the evenings. They actually started to air content that was hardly passable as family content. Not raunchy enough to be classed as adults, but I'd be a bit uncomfortable if my 9-year-old was watching it. From what I gather, they crossed the line a few times and Ofcom had to remind them that their licence wasn't covered for adult content. There was a lot of communication with Ofcom on both sides. 1 year after changing its name from the Advert Channel to Your TV, it changed to the brilliantly named Broadband UK 2 and then Stardate TV, which was then classed as a teleshopping service. Upon the name change, they reassured Ofcom that they would not promote any adult or sexual services. 1 month later...
Hello, Ofcom. Yeah, mate, we're just ringing you up to tell you that we're changing our name again. Oh, for fuck's sake. What now? Our new name, yeah, is Babestar. Babestar! Oh, God. Okay, fine, whatever. What do you want us to put your nature down as? What do you mean, mate? You know, like, lifestyle? Oh, yeah, mate. Babe-style content, mate. Babe. Babe, stop! Listen, all joking aside, we know you've been airing adult content. No, we haven't. Call this number now, but only if you're over 18. Shut up, bruv, I'm on a phone. Okay, look, give us your show recordings and we'll have a look at it, okay?
Then in January 2007...
Hello, mate, it's Babestar Plus. Oh, hi, it's Ofcom, how you doing? Yeah, mate, you good? Yeah, listen, I just wanted to tell you that I know we spoke to you a bit ago about this thing about if you gave us the tapes, we think about you changing your name. Oh, yeah, mate, that was good, wasn't it? Yeah, we didn't say yes. You what, mate? You fucking with me, mate? No, we're still thinking about it. You didn't send us those tapes, so, yeah. I mean, no, mate, we're actually still called Stardate, mate. We're still called Stardate. We're just going by our, like, middle name. You know, like, my mum, yeah? My mum's married to this guy, and his name's called Mr. Prattam, like, mate. But sometimes, mate, she goes by the name of Mrs. Prattam, and then sometimes she's Miss Bayless as well, so it's kind of like that, mate. You okay, hun? Mate, I don't know what this is about, mate. You didn't send us the recording? Well, no, I didn't. Okay, and you're saying you're Babestar Plus, but we haven't licensed that station. Oh, but we got license for Babestar, mate. Yeah, but you're broadcasting Babestar on Stardate. Mate, I think I can hear an alarm going off. Listen, I was just calling today to let you know that we're thinking about taking the license back and fining you. Oh, shit.
Babestar was another channel that was associated with other channels as a network of sexy sex type channels like Babe Station. At some point the channel's ownership must have changed but wasn't really registered properly. They just assumed that because they had the licenses for the other channels that would be fine and they could do whatever they felt like. That was not the case on Ofcom's side. A few days later they sent a sorry letter with the license returned. Later in 2006, Ofcom fined the owners of Babestar Look for Love £175,000. The channel became one of the most explicit free-to-view nighttime channels, and it had some pretty raunchy stuff even though it was still classed as softcore. Ofcom's main problem was with Babestar's concentration on the barely legal status of a presenter who had just recently turned 18. There was also still that confusion of what is program and what is adverts. Eventually, the parent company had its license taken away and they were never seen of ever again. On previous videos, I spoke about the formation of Granada Sky and also Carlton's ventures into multi-channel television. Granada and Sky, as separate companies, along with Carlton, had originally come together to create On Digital, but the regulators told Sky to get out of the bed. So Sky was removed and Carlton and Granada formed to create the On Digital network, which would later become ITV Digital. They had their own group of channels separate from the other ITV channels, such as the franchises and also ITV2 at the time. These were the pay services to the digital operation that was supposed to be a challenge to Sky. The first main channel was OnRequest.
Up next, a simple plan.
OnRequest launched in 2000 under the On Digital platform. Much of its content was provided by Universal and Paramount, showing mainly films and premium content. In 2001, it rebranded to Select. There's that word again, Select. Write that down. OnSport started in 1999 and it was joined by OnSport 2. It rebranded to ITV Sports with the network in 2001, with OnSport 2 closing. However, 2 offshoot channels were created, ITV Sports Select.
Good afternoon and welcome to ITV Sports Select. It's time for our big match, Chelsea versus Bolton.
And ITV Sport Plus. Select and Plus. Write that down. The final channel was the ITN News channel, and I'll go into that later because it's a little bit more complicated. The main issue with the services, especially with the sport, although they were on cable and on digital, there wasn't enough people signing up to the service, although they had the rights to more football that you can kick a football at.
Thousands and thousands of hours of football, each more climactic than the last. Constant, dizzying, 24-hour, year-long, endless football, every kick.
The service could barely run Carlton channels that were free to view and closed some of those due to low figures. So what the heck made them think they could run pay services? The red flags Carlton had been flying throughout their closures were completely ignored, and the bulk of those are closed around 2000 to 2001, with the only one remaining as Carlton Cinema. But still, ITV ploughed on digital. And it did have the strength to be a fairly good service because you got the core of what Sky and cable offered, the important channels like Nickelodeon and the Cartoon Network, and also their grown-up channels, plus UK Gold, Sky One, even Sky Sports, including their own sports channels and movies that weren't on Sky. But that was the problem, because no deal with Sky, no viewers, because Sky had already had first dibs on them in 1998 with their original digital nomming. By 2000, if you weren't getting digital from Sky or cable, you weren't getting digital. And it's not necessarily even that it's a bad service, it's just compared to Sky Digital and cable, it was definitely the lesser choice. At this stage, ITV PLC wasn't a thing. That didn't happen until 2004, and the collapse of ITV Digital happened in October 2002. And if you're not up on your beans, basically, ITV Digital was unable to fulfill the bid it made for the English Football League, and when it went down, it nearly took Bradford City and Barnsley and a bunch of other clubs with them. As I mentioned, there was one other station that was kind of associated, and that was the ITN News channel. That launched on the 1st of August in 2000, and it was a joint venture between ITN and NTL. You'll notice in these clips it looks a little bit Euro newsy. That's because ITN once had a majority share around that time in Euro News. The news studio was actually designed for one person, and it was a very small operation, so after the collapse, Carlton and Granada purchased ITN's share and ran it with NTL. And in June 2002, it was rebranded as the ITV News channel.
The Blitz of Baghdad, a city on fire. The meaning of shock and awe is now devastatingly clear. British and American troops seize Iraqi cities. And alive, dead or injured, just where is Saddam?
They expanded the set and stepped up their game to compete better with their rivals such as the BBC and Sky News, but that was after Granada and Carlton merged to create ITV PLC. NTL's share was also purchased by ITV. In 2005 though, it was announced that ITV's news channel would be closing in order for CITV to have a space on Freeview. They also felt that the funding could be spent better on improving the regular reports on ITV1. The last channel we're looking at today was one of my favourite channels, and that was ITV Play. ITV Play's logo was the best. I thought it was really simple, but I actually quite liked it. And the channel was basically a quiz channel, usually encouraging people to take part in quizzes via premium rate phone lines. I never called in or got involved with the actual games and stuff, but I used to play at home while watching, and also as well, I used to love watching how the presenters work and how they manage stuff. The channel was launched after the success of Quizmania, that was originally picked up on the Information Channel and Showcase in 2005. Quizmania was there for about 5 hours a night, and after a few months it aired on ITV overnight. It eventually dropped the other channels, and it used to air on Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights between 12 o'clock and 4 a.m. for the period in 2006, along with ITV Play from its launch and on Men and Motors on weekend afternoons. It stayed on ITV Play until early 2007. That is when the competition scandal happened, and they turned off all competitions on ITV, which included ITV Play and Quizmania. Quizmania would independently return online for a bit until 2009. There was a couple of problems with quiz channels. The Media, Culture and Sports Committee likened it to gambling. Some saw that the premium rate phone lines was a bit extortionate, and the obscure answers in some of the quizzes was unfair. There's also a good episode of Panorama about this, which is in the description. I personally liked the concept of Quiz TV, and I think actually there is a place for it, especially now with webcams and viewer interaction that you can do from home. Maybe they should have had an alternative to funding it via the telephone lines. Also, because technology's advanced since then, you could take today like a game show like Catchphrase, for instance, and then you can have 2 people on webcam playing from home. That's obviously cheaper to produce than a full episode of Catchphrase, and the channel would be funded by some advertising, and also maybe have like a cheaper version of premium rate phone lines. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, like an entry fee, or maybe even membership, something like they do at Bingo or whatever. Going back to ITV Play and its programmings for now. So The Mint, that was a program that was on there. One of the presenters on that was Brian Dowling from Big Brother. He was a presenter on that. There was a show called This Morning Puzzle Book. Playdate was a dating show. The Zone, that included Angelica Bell and Michael Underwood, and also in this clip, Challenge Jackpot. Yeah, that challenge. Only 6 episodes of that aired before the closure of ITV Play. There was also a show called Play DJ. And then there was Glitterball, and I fucking hated Glitterball because it looked fake, it had a fake audience, they clapped in the background. It wasn't even... I hate fake audiences. The whole situation around that, pretending that there's loads of people in front of you. Fuck off. I don't know why it pisses me off more than the others, because they're just as bad. I think it was that one just so cringy for me. Anyway, Make Your Play was also the last show to use the ITV Play branding. It lasted the channel's demise in March, and it continued to air until December 2007. ITV Play would first be suspended with all programming off air for a week while the auditors came in and did some investigating in 2007 in January. It returned for a bit but then closed permanently in March 2007. At that point, it wasn't clear about what they were going to do with it or whether they were going to bring it back or after everything had all blown over, but nothing else ever came of it, and they ditched the ITV Play branding in 2008. Quizmania actually got quite popular outside of the UK. There was a French version, and that was called Quizmax. Quizmania also had versions in Colombia, Portugal, Poland, and Australia. Now, live TV tends to go wrong sometimes, and one time on Australia, it went spectacularly wrong. They regularly had issues with the phone lines in Australia, and one day the show started with presenter Nikki Osborne, and not long into the game they had issues with the phone lines. They built up the hype, and it seemed to be taking longer than usual to actually get somebody on, and then the phones died, so they go off air and then they come back again. Everything seems fine, they're taking some calls, and then it happens again.
Cool. They're gremlins. Oh my goodness, it's like Groundhog Day.
I think it's become clear to her and everyone else in the studio that this is going to take some time, and you can see that she is clearly having a meltdown. She ends up resorting to throwing toys, sitting on a big chair, kicking cans down, and doing little things like juggling until the team decides, you know what, actually I think she needs a bit of help here. So the team get in and then they start messing around for a bit, and they're all trying to figure out ways of filling the time with impersonations and jokes.
You play both sides, yeah? Pushy galore. What?
Oh look, the phones work.
Hello, who's there?
This is Tanya.
Tanya, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, we're so good now you're here.
They managed to take some more phone calls eventually, but then it strikes again. After the best part of an hour,
Unfortunately, we cannot get our phones up tonight.
they go to a standby program. They made her do that for almost an hour before they actually did something about it. I think it's weird that they didn't have backups or anything, any emails or, some questions they could have done, or even like some things they could have done in the studio. Maybe if they put some thought into it and it was a regular thing, then they could make some email prizes and they could read out some messages that had come through to the studio. Considering that it happened regularly, you'd have thought that they'd have had some backups and stuff. But hey, it was good practice for a stand-up career that she'd end up taking in the future. Right, and that's it for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also you can support the channel by becoming a supporter, by either a supporter or a team member, or you can be an executive producer. Just press join and then find out all of the ways that you can do that if you feel like doing it. Today's executive producer was Computer Tom. I've been Johnny Robinson. I'll still be Johnny Robinson after this video is finished. Thank you, bye.